Sin dúag pathcha Meadowbank an de príomh bhaile na Halape ar lá carfuair burach ach a ganin sin Gemór Geríru iad fad a beo seoch iad BBC Halape agus ans na bican vinnitin haróin a boid an the Hibernian go bhí dul in the Celtic. Well, ha toshach hi a ceannad blue seoch iad BBC Halape dú agus a Hibernian an the soon de drastas at the Cheravati as the league agus biad biodogs gaguma to soon sin a dul in the Celtic as a darna atis a corum macadillu Celtic at a vierna sin edratain agus Rangers a gúna gadú me gave it na puingen Gemór Geríru is father. Gerevig maha irnabus roin irnieska shop yoshok it BBC Halape Hibernian ekadais at the Dolnay Celtic ach bripken vowel the Jan Blue Yosho it BBC Halape. Joshik Mahai, God in the Pathca Meadowbanks. Now, Kutjach Godela, Rinolich Rachel Boyle. Rachel, thanks for joining us once again on BBC Halape. This is a game I must say I've been looking forward to all week. It's Hibernian against Celtic. Set us up for it. What can we expect? Yeah, I'm expecting a really competitive game. Obviously, Celtic are trying to catch Rangers at the top and Hibs are trying to close that gap between the third place teams. So, yeah, it's one that I'm really looking forward to today. In terms of the home side Hibs today, how much confidence will they take from their cup win over Glasgow City coming into this match today? I think they'll take a lot of confidence. It was a big positive result for them. I think it was one that was needed coming off of the back of the cup disappointment they had against Partick Thistle. So, yeah, for me, I think they need to take the positives from that and bring it into this game knowing that they can compete with the teams above them. Different kind of challenge today with Celtic at home. Yeah, certainly. I think being at home, you always want to play. You've got your fans behind you and it's a different feel. You're used to the pitch, you're used to your surroundings, so hopefully that can stand them in good stead for the game. In terms of visitors, what can we expect from Elina Siriko's side? I think you're expecting good quality on the ball. I think you're expecting players to get forward and create a lot of opportunities. For me, I think the words in there, the fact they're coming off the back of a 3-game week, will be difficult for them in terms of the legs, but they've got the rotation within their squad to allow them to do that. So, yeah, I don't think we'll expect any intensity to drop from Celtic. She didn't have the best of starts to her career at Celtic, losing the first 2 games, but do you see now signs that the team are banging into her way of playing football? Yeah, you could say that. I think today they're looking likely that they're going to set up with the 3 at the back. I think initially when she came in, she had the 4. So, yeah, for me, I think they'll stick to what they know, which has worked for them in the past, and they're very effective at it. So I don't think we'll expect too many surprises. It'll just be very much carry on the way things have been going for Celtic. Let's take a look, Rachel, at the latest scores and an earlier result here in the SWPL. Rangers dropping points today against Partick Thistle. That'll give Celtic extra incentive today, I'm sure. Yeah, I think it has to. They'll be looking at that result knowing that they've got a great opportunity to cut the gap, so that'll be their focus. First and foremost, they need to get the 3 points and then obviously stand them in good stead for closing the gap. And likewise for Hibs, Partick Thistle obviously got a really good result. It's a great point against Rangers and they'll be absolutely buzzing with that. So Hibs will need to be mindful of that and know that they need to try and open up that gap. What's the most important element of the game today for Hibs? What do they need to do right to get a positive result against Celtic? I think for me it's all about the threat that Celtic have got from set pieces. They're very effective in the air, they've got some big girls in there that can attack the ball, and if they can nullify that threat and then take care of the rest of the game, I think they put themselves in with a good chance. Great stuff. We'll come back to you in just a short moment. Ag a drasta sin dá chláintein bhar na managerin agus úr Alec O'Henley Graimóra bhichin bican vinnitin an ash.
Grant, the last time you saw you was the disappointment, obviously, the semi-final of the League Cup, but obviously you've used that as fuel to reset the season and go again.
Yeah, I think so. It's always, you learn a lot about your team, about yourself, about your preparation in those moments when you reflect. You know, we didn't do ourselves justice in that game, and I think collectively as a staff group and a group of players, yeah, we've used it as a bit of fuel to step things up again. So, you know, sometimes you need those little resets, and as sore as it is at the time, you know, you do your best to take what you can from it.
10 goals since then, including, of course, the win against Glasgow City and penalties last week. How much of a lift will that give the players going into this game?
I think it's in terms of performance and belief. You know, ultimately we still didn't beat them over 90 minutes, so it's not something to get too excited about, and I'm very grounded that way, and the players are too. You know, we don't get too excited about the high moments, the same as we don't get too down with the lows. So it's a bit cliche all that, but look, obviously naturally you go against Glasgow City, it's a tough match. To get anything you have to do really, really well, and thankfully the players have done that last week, so it's something to take into the game today for sure.
Elena, has been a good week so far. 2 wins. You'll want to round it off. Presumably it was a victory against, well, a difficult Hibs side today.
Yeah, obviously I think what we've been working on this week has not been so many trainings, but we've been watching the games and we want to do better and better and better. So hopefully we can do a good performance that gives us 3 points.
You're almost a month into the job now, Elena, and is it difficult because there's been so many fixtures? Presumably you'd like to have more time on the training pitch, but also when you're winning is good because you get momentum as well, so it's good from that point of view as well.
Obviously it's been busy, I'm not going to lie, but I think from games you learn the most, and I'm very thankful for that, and I'm just looking forward to what's ahead.
What kind of challenge do you expect from Hibs today, a Hibs side who are in good form the last couple of games?
Obviously, I think they've been doing well as a team. I think that's what they've been pushing on. It's always like a team performance. So what we need to do is play our own game, but also be aware of that they're going to come with a lot of energy, and that we need to meet that up, if not higher. So I think that's the plan today, is that we need to focus on ourselves, but we also need to be very, very, how do you say, energetic to get what we want to do today.
Wel, sian ac yw'n y manager yn hyn agos hwyd Alec o Henley Grime o'r ydych fe chi'n big invented. Now, sgasi ni gorym diolch bech na gael ein fo Rachel and Stacey Soos kind of spiddish. Rachel, listen to the managers there. Grant seems to be very keen to keep the players grounded after that big win against Glasgow City.
Yeah, I think he's right to do so. Essentially, if that was a league match, it would have just been a draw. So you can't get too ahead of yourselves, although it was a great result for the club. For me, it's all about the standards of that game. They need to be able to match that standards week in, week out, because I think they've been a bit inconsistent this season. We've maybe been saying that for the past couple of years now, so it's all about building consistency and momentum stemming from that result.
And I think the teams are just about to come out, so with that in mind, we'll hear more from you throughout the match. Ach y dras yma ha, a si dolgol sŵs chyn ysbyrys gwir niech ar y sia dolgar stwrig tron y gêm Alec o Henley.
Wat een tandje galm, agus na hoffig ich agus a da skippe tuv hald na patke, fe die hined. Agus maar a kalm is witchel of vimine ge fattig korn dus je gamese or da skippe ha de gasse na hoek alles joy. Rishi en tool pick en hech in de dash. Agus Corm Celtic is onrige close na Sashkid Rangers sal gas. Da fing na strijden jesker nou partik this will goed gat. Ver na gunu coach of Kate Pungen. Agus yn skipi in. Wel, mae'r hwyr ydw Gran Scott y cwmal dys i skipa yr ein choma yn o'i Glasgow City i ddysgu eich yn sychau. Agus y coint gysori sydd y jori yn bocymlu nhw'n tŵl tiwg ac yn o'i is on y tŵl y chwyd i ddys i tiwg yn y haibis. Is on Celtic a cedd arich yn skip achgysyn fan y skipa gleig ac yn ioni di twpr na mar mian y pathca, mian y siachgyn sydd yn Cummings yn y steg y chwb. Partido sin is day mian yn pathca con di Shen agus Shen mewn glw iddo waif cli agus skipa cyma yw'r dachle trwy ddech yn o'i Natasha Flint, Amy Gallagher agus Kit Lefersky. Gleitio da ac yn y drwy ar ysmyn cyffach gymi a hyg isio. Clyde Buchan agus he's yn osgion yn y game. Jorian Bocom, Cwyn and Amy Gallagher who've had a hurl to league, nu turl cheer, gaich Wyke vier vats, Joey Verutken sluit, a gek toshach, en seesent van Amerikanach, en Amy Gallagher, voilà, een hurl, Richard Echtische, geledig, nu cheer, as a league machine, had Cwyn and agus co hikibar, as a battle, etter, a Gia in a Jew. Celtic as na leintjin toe a fall van day, agus Hibs as na taan avashich achgesen, agus sich her vaantje draas, da is achkel fachbesach ges on sin kutjach le harts gesonrische, viechen die fijn schechatere, agus toch a client pick an a sartje kutjach, ges joy, maar van oog gedanje, Glasgow City het different pennas, jach in zich hai, futig at puchtig pick an a sartje, sinnevis. As yn y cointish, eto sio agus sydd yn y season. Da skipper as yn y cercol yn afasachachga Johnny game. Agus gyma cwtrymach cymar y honsig is at y sio. Agus yn capag sy'n biar y blistio gyffalaf. Tiach gyda'ch mygydda cychwyd ymach fo'n y skipper ddyn. Ellis Notley, skipper Kibs Aju. Lena Sadiku, coach Celtic le da game minister the vinnig the jackin vergedig as Joey Toshach Karen Dulich in the Rangers is Glasgow City. I guess Grant Scott le hell was fine Lavanoch the Glasgow City and the Goop and Hallapit Jackin Sakai. Fadachin give it a gronk in a hochkrach. Michelle Hibbs the ish I guess give it at the Toshach in the slee oprige dash suas. Gesorg just in Koopenen for bilat the vi gewatched gehecht real. I guess Shiasen a good as the game secretary. Jorian Bokum in Ash Gonotley. I guess Chilig Fatrim Kit Lefersky. Abby Ferguson. Hoshik Celtic na click it at Okach. Yes, the Partick Thistle. They say in a high. Kuhn and Dav Leona a Kibs and Ishkata. He's she was going Gallagher. Quick pick and a steen it. Against Natasha Flint at Cooley Kit Lefersky. Kelly Clark skipper Celtic. He's the issue going to son Lefersky, Isaac Lewis Aisha and Rachel. That's going to be a key battle you feel today. Kit Lefersky is a speed merchant up front, so Leah Eddy will have her hands full. Yeah, certainly. I'm looking forward to seeing Kit Lefersky. I think she's going to try and stretch the Hibernian back line, really push them back, and that'll create the space for Natasha Flint and Amy Gallagher just to drop into those pockets and get on the ball. Natasha Flint has dan jullie ploeg het gelezen gaat de goede she came in Liverpool and like Stu Fowler shin Lefersky kumal stay Poppy Lawson guy in the fella I guess Shen fiachen die heilige dasje steeg Kayla McAloney gehoord je falla Casavelchuk Eddie I guess Lawson and G had a week me annually in Chi and the Kibs Welcome at the wheels fiachen de tune the lish Monglu gaskipel gedaasjes on Sydney Cummings had een stay je live glee les je drew that shin Celtic kijk je goed he's fiachen de vouwige gaan nu Paul Skirko Antley Ross who had hat-tricks again Markison as a Goegpe Hamilton Karen Tully gedaas met Doherty game geef with de Magie Duval het gaat mijn Kibs bekend kutje me goed she is alleen Doran Baat dit is een Bokom ook al Tarsing ik ga het doen die zoe again al Chida gemaakt Jurian Bokum has become such a key player for Hibs. Rachel started a bit sluggishly, started the season, but now joint top scorer in the league with 19 goals. Yeah, she's a player that Hibs have probably been screaming out for a couple of seasons now. We've been looking for that number 9 that's going to try and score 20 goals a season, and she's one that's came in and done that. She's a fantastic player and a great person to have around the dressing room as well to add to that. Draast pikken op de Hibs die met je goed. Natasha Flint, Edeval, Gilbrich, Tarsenko, Shen, Partido, De Vermuyi. Ola Partido, I guess Shannon Leishman, Asarat, I guess Savalip, de Bosch en Kuchak. Ferguson. We gaan de fijne fella van Hayes, I guess the news is meer loyal van Kooluk. Caitlin Hayes, Puchtig Zoas. Maybe Ferguson also, Rachel, with maybe a point to prove, a former Celtic youth player who did really well at Partick Thistle in the second half of last season. Yeah, she's a very tenacious player. She likes to get the ball. She's quite tricky when she's dribbling at players. For me, I don't think we've seen the best of her yet. I think she's still got a lot to learn and a lot to give to the squad, but certainly a player that we're looking forward to having around. Kuhn and Dav Leon, maar we mikra, Gabby Ferguson. Boring je pristje stegen en een skip Celtic. Koik tuil is on Partick Thistle. Daar liggen deze en een nuri. Shen Monglu, Chinnestay, when a live glee, doen aan Kunnartig. Toch gaan we wijnen, nur een jarige dash, vede teig, Jenny Hena. Wel, toch die echt die kussen geno. Shannon McGregor kan een vallen dat Monglu, Shilting. Kunnart Aisha Moeig, Shias, live glee, Cummings, de Noorse Nebouw, de Gaal, de Goedjen voor Bokom, haar femige teig, Hij komt al vuils, verder zit echt chine koelig. Hij is pikkend te haringen schön. Het Maya Christie, voor Natasha Flint. Hij is schön te scoren. The Hibs, to win je boxen. Maya Christie came into the side last week, Rachel, and really took her chance and looking to make an early impression here as well.
Yeah, she has. The fact that she's playing higher up the pitch as well. I actually spoke to her midweek and she said that she enjoyed being able to play higher up and instead of in that full-back role, so it certainly suited her. And Grant Scott's obviously trusted her again today to do the job.
Yes, Poppy Lawson at the the shot, Smoonian, the Echin. Hopata show amach, big show man of big the Darakach, I guess, Dulich Shinokumalchias. So it was going to be ambitious from that kind of range.
Yeah, I mean, Poppy's got the abilities, it's just that she's not executed it correctly today. You can see that she's disappointed in that one, but for me it's a wasted opportunity.
But also indicative of maybe the confidence that the Hibs players now have that maybe they didn't have a few weeks ago.
Yeah, certainly I think you can see from the start of the game that it's a bit end-to-end at the moment. I think both teams fancy their chances today, and that's shown in the style of play that they've both had.
Monglu earlier had that jinking run, always has to be careful with her going into the penalty area, but she'd probably have cut that back with her left foot rather than cutting back onto her right.
Yeah, I think that was when the opportunity was gone for Celtic, wasn't it? It allowed Hibs to get bodies back into the box and cover the danger, but certainly, as you say, she's very tricky to pin down, and once she gets into that box, it's difficult to go near her without causing any penalties.
Tasha Flint kunt toch schissen met Kas. Moet je dat Hibs zien aan Smoonian? Dus zuiver de sound de Hibs. Monglu. Ik moet heel aan de show zien voor Flint Kutjach. Welkom voor Asta. Ik guess wie is Pies Maashachat? Kelsey Doherty, vegan die Tasha Vonnegoel, maar hij had de Vichiana van Hanneke Lena Sadiku is tijd. Dus waar is drie keer zo gaan je laten opbrengen? Ga ik hier maar eens mooi hier gezet. Samen scharen wie is dat? Zo die is shot Paulo Partido. Een follow up. Partido is een foul tijd. Lawson Serrat. Dus Shannon McGregor skippelig. Er is een bal natuurlijk bal dat is de Flint. Nash Conina Wilson. Ik heb Saval Kuttermach. Naar Hannetje gaan een pennisje vashin. Nee, Glasgow City. Partido kain a dash for Hayes. Macoloni, and a follow Gallagher. Stats a tune Ashka Shannon Leishman. Notley, Tarsing gaan do veel go door een ba. Plechke liat in de paadje. Daar hadden we drie. Nu je gele Cummings. Kijk hoe de macht het had. Dat is ook Maya Christie. Welkom. Dash gaan een goed, agus Femi. Opgelost een Kafaki en Leferski. Tegen de kutje moet gedaan. Ferguson, pikken de haring over de partido. Wat ga je fijne vallen van een Spaantje. En is Noorsen kusten de vast draaien. Macoloni. This has been a feature of Celtic's build-up play since Elena Sadiku came in. Rachel playing it short out from the back. It takes a bit of while to execute properly.
Yeah, you can see their confidence that they've got because Hibs are matching them man for man. They're going right up against them and trying to make it difficult for them to play out, and they're still confident to do so.
Past the it's been tricky for her, Rachel, because a lot of games she'd ideally want to spend more time on the training pitch to get her ideas across.
Yeah, that's the most difficult part about coming in during the season, isn't it? The games are coming thick and fast, and for Celtic having a 3-game week this week, it's difficult to get that time on the training pitch and implement your own style, but I think she's came into a really good squad and a team that's willing to learn and willing to improve, and you can see the quality that they've got within their squad to allow her to put her points across.
Brackesin idir Abby Ferguson agus Caitlin Hayes agus Ferguson Pavisanige. That looked a sore one, Rachel, and an equal battle really. Abby Ferguson is nowhere near the height of Caitlin Hayes, who tried just to gently knock her away, but it was Ferguson trying to get it airborne that caused the problem there.
Yeah, you can see that both sets of eyes are fixated on the ball, and it's just one of these unfortunate coming together. Abby, unfortunately, has came off worse in this scenario, but I'm sure she'll be able to get back up and carry on, because she's, as I say, she's a tenacious player, and she's one that will certainly not want to come off in a fixture like this.
Doen dan zo like een aan film te veilig le pullem en gaan is ganz goed het orsu le de listed de goede aan de wengieke voor wel doen je leed Haley Adams Tegan Bowie goede aan Jan George nach Ferguson is such a tricky area now for coaches, Rachel. When you do get a head knock, the protocols are quite strict now. If you feel anything amiss, the suggestion is that you go off immediately.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how it should be. I think the player safety is first and foremost in their mind. You can see that they're taking as much time as they need to make sure that she's going to be okay before they even get her back up and figure out if she's going to come back on the park. But as I say, Abby will certainly not want to be coming off. So.
Pwyle Tuve Keen, agus Corrigan sin hastal there to who've Jadel Yano, will it all good ahead, no Dolin yet. I guess here sin. Abby Ferguson and Cracker the Karskilio, Tegan Bowie, Brooksnan, Miskinun, ha, get Jessica again, Edod in Pathke, Kirsty Morrison and Shin Kuchuk. I guess had Karskilio, Unya Gal. Abby Ferguson and issue that Casson. Joel Murray with the finish Gutsumach vision the Jack and Sakai. No substitute for experience, Rachel, when it comes to taking penalty kicks.
No, I spoke to her after the penalty, and she says that she was she didn't show like she was nervous, but she certainly was feeling it. But for me, I would have Joelle taking penalties all day long. Her technique is unbelievable, and as I say, she gives that persona that's just so calm, and yeah, no better player for it to go to.
The finish eigenlijk Jarav game in Glasgow City. It's met McGrath and Nina Wilson running at the finish Havely with Maddie Fulton. Joe Love could Shay Shechad Kuchak. Cummings, Edash, going to line a Gianna Hehen. Here's Notion Suez go Ross. Here the Flint to it fall up. I guess Shannon McGregor, Lishan Newsy could start to the fashion. I guess Poppy Lawson in the cool look. Ross Sadish, Schumdijk, me in the pathke, Monglu, had Kahir, should all do Villa. Cummings, Dash Docherty. Celtic, Kiri Tonshach, van a cool of the ish. Chickley, Chuck Suez can know. I guess the first kick out, Lech, a pudding ye, Darasu again it. Ferguson at Ash. Shen, picking room in his check, Leferski, I guess Monglu, Sur, Edu Villa, McGivy, Paul and all the shin. Flint, Chile Gadash stay in a VI, Natalie Ross, Gallagher, Tuviesha, Flint to stay, Jude Lewis at the show, I guess a Paula the goal stay, Va Unsian in Natasha Flint, Kia Turlik, Vahili, Yadashka Celtic, Celtic, Hosher. Well, if that hadn't got in, Rachel, I suspect it might have been a penalty, because there was a bit of a clip on her heels as she went through, but that'll do her the world of good in terms of confidence. Not getting a game at Liverpool, but back in the groove at Celtic.
Yeah, certainly that's a player that was in fantastic form towards the end of last season for Celtic, and to come back up and get on the score sheet, she'll be absolutely delighted. It's a fantastic give and go there with Natalie Ross. She just carries on her run, and Hibs haven't tracked it, unfortunately, and as you say, she breaks in, she gets a slight clip, but she stays calm and composed and just slots it by the goalkeeper, and it's 1-0 to Celtic.
And that's maybe one tactical tweak that's worked for the new coach, playing Natasha Flint a bit deeper with Amy Gallagher. Just gives them the chance to find those pockets and those areas to run into.
Yeah, certainly she's got that ability to hold players off and bring others into game, so if they're wanting Kit Lafersky to run the channels, as I say, to try and stretch the defences, that then frees up the space for Natasha Flynn, Amy Gallagher, these types of players who like to get on the ball and like to create chances, and that's exactly what she's done there, and she's reaped the rewards.
Well, they kind of on spinning as slow as a glitchach could you. Lena Sadiku, I guess, Umashin Shin Lisha Kietel. I guess there was the Castan who are a Celtic Edigal at Hoshach. Jay Frecker Chai Kibbs. Skip at Ellis Notley, Faye Kosajik, Leah Eddy, Poppy Lawson, Suez van a Goel. Celtic click your line of Kama Art, a shot, Peas Mat at Tivamui of Oaksa. Didn't to lay the horn, McGether Howell Hayes. It's kind of strange that Rachel, who was a very high line from Celtic, but no one seemed to want to win it in the air. Yeah,
it wasn't convincing defending for me. I thought Caitlin Hayes was just going to step on and head it clear, but she's allowed it to bounce, and that keeps the pressure up for Hibs.
My Kibbs, Nimpi Humaladol, Dave Howell, Lauren Doran Bar. Hier is Pia Bokam. Hij is de drapse. Wel, en ik is zo met Gedde heen. Wij swinnen krijgen het Porsche to play a shot like Kelly Clark. En ik Jena Smith as a new session. Sharon Bokam. Swinnen krijgen de Porsche gasten. Zo met Gedde China dashi heen. Shot. Maar naar de goprikjes dat. It's so. You really do need to have players who are supremely confident to pull that off, and the idea is that you pull players out of their zone, and then you can get in behind them, but it's so difficult to execute.
Yeah, it's great if you can pull it off, but when you don't pull it off and you end up kicking it out for a throw-in in your own third, it's not so great. So especially when you've got players like Natasha Flynn that you could probably target, if you see that Hibs are being so high and pressing man for man, you could potentially just drop the ball into her and she can bring others into play.
And especially when you don't maybe have centre-backs who are necessarily that comfortable with the ball at their feet as well.
Yeah, well, the fact that they're starting so close to the goalkeeper, they've obviously seen that they want to try and draw teams out to then hit them with their pace going forward and the space in behind. But for me, Hibs are switched on so far to that.
Ons hier Jurkel Hibs at the Puchtig Suez at the Fiach in the Glachig Doin as a Voksach heen. Celtic de line willen viechen die Hibs glachig gemaakt die vaak al pern in de koele. Gallagher maar ik kan te grij maar ach Healy Rash Gohes. Cummings. They're going to be in Shachat the Flint guitar. Tuchtia Canotli. Christy Suesco McLoney. She is the line of the Christy Fiachen the Humalistiska Yarriga Dash Duval Bokom. I guess then click at that late Jory and Bokom Hannah soon Khama Shachu Khoram Bashit again. Rachel is good play from Maya Christy and Jory and Bokom, the form she's in, she'd be expecting to hit the target there. Yeah, the build up play is excellent and Maya Christy does really well to pull it back to her. I think she actually had more time than she realised, but she hasn't got her body over the ball, and unfortunately she sees it sky over the bar, but certainly good build-up play from Hibs. Could have taken a touch there, couldn't you?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think, as you say, you just don't really realise how much time you've got until the ball sails over the top of the bar and you look around and there's nobody near you, so she'll be disappointed with that one.
She'll Jefferator. Look at the Kumanta, I guess, in Sark, look at then Partido, Ed Lafersky via Kelnil in the Pathke. Haas the Lafersky. Partido with Ash, the Cassin, Le Corinbal, with Tarsing, I guess. Well, Shannon McGregor, the Ish to Dash Dawn. Senior at the line, a full of Cassava, Chakas, Lafersky, at Dolcolat. Should tackle Kumat, doch, as I have a shit on the finish, Mashina Faniergi. Ishman in the bowl, the Gutch voice, Piku, Suesco Bokom. Droch fast Whipisha, Ashka Lafersky. Lafersky Tarsing out of Voxa. Ross. Nashko Hayes, I guess I go not check Draska use on Hibs. Too close at clean to Sadiku, he is falling. Hayes, Suesco Gallagher, Rung make your stats, Chundas, Count the hook, I'll pass the hug, Shinny Yaka the Yano. Rish McGregor Sonacha Chars, agus a fine puchtu vacul vo Natasha Flint. Wilson, Chickly Sassanach, Clark a hilig of Vienna Pathke, McGregor agus Shen, Stree, agus Halapanach a Pinnick Shen, Eddie, Fiach the Shannon Leishman in Suasolane, Biog Ferguson, Steiko Notley, Paul Tarsing, agus Amach and Triplech. That was a well-worked move as well, Rachel, and maybe Ellis Notley would have been better advised having a go on target there.
Yeah, it was really well played through the middle, but then Ellis just kind of expects her striker and Maya Christie at the other end to be in the box, and they've just not been able to keep up with play. But certainly it's positive for Hibs. They'll need more of that going into the game to try and get a goal back.
You shouldn't you chwarta Hibs puchtu, I guess Doherty gafði big fata. Oh, Paul Dullich was sin vo Amy Gallagher, I guess I'm looking to Doherty Kumalastai. Need to be on your toes to control that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't be thanking her for that pass back, that's for sure.
But it's interesting that they went long with that goal kick, so obviously the Hibs press is worrying them. As a Cara McHibs, Kuchum, Tilia Kuchum Chadora shot, Ellis Notley as a Noshang. Gilior, the lane, Chinoanya, as a Voxa. So, of the Boshan Katai, first the Shen, and a Falavaki Fostui. I guess, Partido, fine a Falavoi, Howley Bowl to Macaloni, I guess, could he start the these kind of close it. First key telection Shinach and Orson to Javi Dash to Shannon McGregor. Hibs got school like a 2 veil in the pathket. Duran Barley, Christie Idhon Shachara. Lawson. Junsi or Clark Castay with Cooley Ferguson. Partido Gairi the Dusa. Vish Chiligadash, Coach Shakiri Rugalador, Gallagher. Habonach to the Falava McGregor. Eddie Shahara Laferski. Was could he Tarsinka Lawson. Grand Scott Kiri Shannon Leishman, Fatki and O'Hulley, Sasuring Yaivagus, Shinavech Gavan, Nuring Bowline, Tarsing, Partido Chichan Kulior, Sonokuye. But you can see the idea there, we can see Grant Scott there, Rachel asking Shannon Leishman just to make the pitch as wide as possible and give an option up the left hand side.
Yeah, I actually think that ball's been on a couple of times so far in this half. It's just not been seen yet. You can see that Leah Eddy's got the capabilities of just dropping one in behind the Celtic defence and using the pace of Shannon Leishman and Maya Christie on the other side. I think you can certainly expose Celtic in those wider areas.
Caramach shot, Bocom, General Room, Yehain, Agus, up a tall, the Jody and Bocom. Look at that on the soon, the bear, Agus, whether you got him. The Sue line is set up in the game at half. Agus, for a toe, you've a Kelsey Doherty, because the start shot. Well, we said she's in the form of her life, Rachel, and she's just gone and shown us why they're getting away from Cummings, and what a finish that was off the underside of the bar.
That is an unbelievable finish by Jory and Bocom there. I think once again Celtic have tried to play out from the back, they've been caught, and Hibs have done really well in the press. Jorian makes it all on her own there. She just uses her strength and gets past the two players and unleashes an unbelievable strike into the roof of the net. But I say no more than Hibs deserve off the start of this match.
And it's from such a tight angle as well. That's what makes it even more impressive.
Yeah, you can see that there's only one thing in her mind. She just wants to be able to shift it far enough that she can get the shot away, and there's absolutely nothing that Doherty could do about that.
Fichatul, Anish Bócom in the Dason, agus as na dash Cowinan. Noch verach for Celtic amach van a goal for Sydney Cummings. Shane Tarsenko Cummings agus a nice socket with the ball. Maya Christie. Stay the coolest a triplet at Cummings to shot. It's been a difficult few seconds for Sydney Cummings on that far side.
It is, yeah. I think it just gives everybody a minute to try and catch their breath. It's been frantic, but it's a great tackle there. I don't know if it's the way she's landed or she's obviously felt something. I don't know if it's that left ankle as she's planted her foot.
Satagustech of his own. We have machine sa Cummings at Ashe the Casson. E Duval. Stochetje Mischnich give big and Tavuline. Farste Weichke so do like Hibs. Ferski China Steen and Kuchuk. She Satagustech hill of his own. E Duval. Gregor Puchte Gallagher machas de raad. Likalische Bouwlegal Troinko Liadi. Lishman. Oh, Ashin Mavo Ferguson. Fine follow partido ach pass a kitchen for Dream Ross. Is een oorsprong gewoon to keep bouwen dash. De Bócom. He's Jean Mach van a goal. Flint, Goloferski, Monglu, Edu Val, Leferski, Tokalasta, Christie, Chili Gadash, and you might blue got it, I guess, Maile got it. Shen Nishka Skulu go Monglu, Edu Val. Murin je fijn shach at the Doran Bar. China State, Farchlieg. Hij is nog in de Chili Gadash. Toch mag je bij count de Vishnach. Monglu, die is China Sacha State, like Ross. Pass to Skolaferski, Dada, Vach Chili Gadash go Monglu. Die is Chili Gadash, en dan je weer puchte gedoord. Chin like a Hibs, Hulutnjeth, and het cool of wheel. Cummings, Machko, Shen. Agus Shen na díos le Cheval Ishal Tarsing Poppy Lawson gain a follow. Agus Hibs skiplach gesnokach an oceans vinnig migration or an Doran Bar touch a soul for a wheel. Channaga the lead, two game of the Viakin shot to Lanura or Caitlin Hayes a gal chance ella shouldn't mach van a goal agus Hibs fiach in the plistje got a galoa. Rutaha McGregor the Yano Bócom trying the ish Chabrachta Huas Navigad Kuntish Doherty Ma a Chinamach. But Hibs Rachel looked like they found the key to this game. The pressure they're putting on the Celtic back line, the mistakes they're getting from the Celtic players, and the press is working so well. And this was close.
Yeah, the work rate that Hibs are putting in at the moment is undeniable. You can see that they're all working hard for each other, and they're not giving Celtic a minute. Celtic are very used to having a lot of the ball and moving it around freely. But Hibs aren't allowing them to do that, and you can see that it's paying off. They're nicking it in good areas, and as you say, that was a really tight call there for Jory and just being slightly offside. But they're going to get opportunities like that if they continue to press Celtic the way they are.
I guess Machuma Celtic at the Shachat the Buil, but a hat the Shachat hat the Tilly Horm and the Hibs. You let count the Licha the Lisha Yam Passy a shove on a hole. Christie, two game Marashin of the crowd of Yaki Marami and a Patka. Hayes initially pick and room, Ball Matt trying to Natasha Flint. Was it Macaroni as a rat, I guess, and they're pitching a stay, and it was almost a carbon copy of Bócom's goal at the other end. She just couldn't keep it a couple of feet down. Yeah, she's a very powerful player, Natasha Flint. I think once she gets the ball at her feet and she gets on the move, it's very difficult to get it off her. You can see Macaroni's trying really hard there, and as you say, she just tries to get a half yard to get a shot away, but it's not on target. Natasha Flint, le Shachia Tull, like Celtic, kind of Shadara Tull, like Gaina Shin. That could be Caramilla. Bristol partidos an ocean, na reach the harang of ash, son a here downsy. Ed Flint, me and the pathket. I think the referee tried to let the game breathe here. He knew there was a free kick, but he let it develop, and when Celtic didn't get an advantage, he pulled it back.
Yeah, I think that's probably the right decision. You can see Shannon McGregor's just a bit over-eager there to try and win the ball, and he's tried to play advantage, but pulled it back, so correct decision for me.
Shen, long you. Clyde Bachen. Jachen Lische, Yem, Rui. Wie just Zuringa. Shen. Took out Powell. Art gaan vast de goede. Countess on Cummings. Haas gaan je lijf val af. Kala Tuchtum. Agus door een bar. Kaskoop geval af. Maar je de gauw. Fersky, Nashko Cummings, Gallagher, viechen die flintige trouwens, Zuidje de klach gegaan maar kutjach. Sta shot pikken as Ashke die is, Jay Darakic. En Gallagher de weer uit de kinsaag, ze game ik shot. Zo pik, you see Anamach stay the cool. Shen. It's Kuhn the Breed die is just on Celtic. Caitlin Hayes, Dawn, Gary Bowler goed go cool of Oaksa. Hier is Cummings, Agus Flint to Shen. Shen Farla Dahl, Hayes, spinning hier het Val. Notley, a follow-up. Shen ga Heelig en vast de cool, Agus Hayes in hier. Hij de kunnen stay. Maar de fijn with the hier het gaat hem up. Give you the Dara Korama, I guess. Shachat Ed Love, Nina Wilson, a Purinyi, fine Kishin. Well, the first one was a sighter for a Rachel, and when the ball came back in again from Shen, she made no mistake. Nina Wilson tried to get a hand to it, but it was just too powerful.
Yeah, that's what Caitlin Hayes gives you, isn't it? That threat in the box, and you know Celtic always try to pick it out. You can see her try to pick it out from the first one. Doesn't quite work out for them. They recycle the ball really, really well, and she just stands it up again for Caitlin Hayes to go and attack. And unfortunately, Hibs haven't been able to deal with it. But for Caitlin Hayes, she won't be caring about that. It's Celtic 2 want the good.
Goal number 12 of the season. It's an astonishing number for a centre back.
Yeah, it's incredible. And as a club, you want that threat going forward. And if you can have that from a centre half, then you know you're going to give yourself a chance in any game, just to be able to put the ball at the box. But that's Hibs' own downfall. They're giving away free kicks on the edge of the area, knowing fine well that Celtic have got those threats.
Well, Frickercheck Celtic, Jean voor Caitlin Hayes. Stau vader kan gewil games gemafos, kultje lische dois wil at de kluchje van een goal. Kelly Clark, gehoprige gitter heen, Sydney Cummings, zat de vee die Hibs boektig zo, zag en je Hibs kluchje gleesach gedraasje ju. Nis chatted oprige pick en zo alleen Gallagher. Hij is shock with impie het Kelly Clark. Zijn notion het Hayes, stuurde gevallen wat je is de kluchje Paul Masu is Goloferski. Bokom. Pick en warach goeie geschinnen die is. Cummings forster nog de division. Come on, glue. Shin as kindje gevoepen. Pick en room shot je goed het Sheen nog je duval. Monglu, steken Natasha Flint, agus naar de geef het al. Dit staat toch gedorren. Vee die Gallagher China de Kulu. Smunich hier de blik alle vallen. Wacht, Chile Gedashko Flint. En is had de dash gevoerd voor de hoogste gat. Roelien en Sadiku de alletje lesje geloos dat. Hij keer ik heb niet bij de gommele taal. Clark. Eerst coach Shakiri op de macht en een kliertje. Hayes Eine Fallava Ferguson sa bíag Natasha Flint dú bála sin. Rúm a seoach Natasha Flint. Seachat the Notley. Ríis tún da gadash. Bhí na páthca. We can see the frustration down here from the Celtic coach, Rachel. She wants the impetus to be maintained, and all too often they keep going back into midfield with it.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's always been Celtic's motto, is that they want to keep going for more, whether she's in charge or it was previously Fran Alonso. But certainly Hibs are making it very difficult for them, and I think that's where the frustrations are creeping in. They maybe didn't expect Hibs to come at them quite as harshly as what they are, and they're going man for man. So yeah, Celtic are doing really well to work the ball, and when they do beat the press, then the pitch seems to open up for them.
Ross a gebrachtach soes na hui Savinic. Lena Sadiq with the Keren, the Shekera of Offic, Nahela Books, the Technica, There's been a bit of ongoing discussion between Elena Sadiku and the fourth official as to where the demarcation line is for the technical area.
Yeah, I think I've been watching her. She looks like she's been kicking every ball with the team today. She's certainly took the jacket off within about the first 5 minutes as well, so you know she's up for it.
Gary Parach van de Kloegetanetje, Flint, Cheval Troye, I guess Kusta de Shin, so Amy Gallagher. You can still tell with Natasha Flint though, Rachel, that she hasn't had much first team football this season, still trying to find her groove.
Yeah, you see that across the board when it comes to January signings. Players that maybe haven't really been playing as much as they would like, or have come back from injury and are just trying to get some game time, and Natasha Flint fits one of those. You can see that she's got the qualities, it's just about getting that sharpness and that match game time back. So she'll get that with abundance here at Celtic, and she knows the surroundings, she knows the club, and she's had success here before, so she'll be looking to carry that on.
Wel, hij de giet huil leg geen Bohili. Ze gaan in het huilen weg is in Liverpool. Ze giet liggen in decent. Dash Godocherty. Is die shatas munje me een goedje kudders van een goal. Is Docherty. Genesis en Eentje geeft goed aard gaan een geel nille. Hij is een oorsen ka hokal. Zo is geen hier match. Flinte glachkig. Makaloni tjechen er. Vind ik je bouwlat. Geniste. Christie. Is toch later gasig. Makaloni die is checking out, but once again, my Christie today, Rachel, she's impressed. She's playing in a number of positions that I can see in midfield. She seems to be all over the midfield. Yeah,
she's working really hard for the team, and she's causing a lot of problems down that right-hand side when Hibs work the ball to her. I think Sydney Cummins has had a difficult first half up against her, but you can just see the confidence that she has playing that little bit further forward. I think it maybe takes the pressure off, knowing that she's got someone behind to protect if anything goes wrong. And yeah, she's such a young player, she's got a lot to learn, but you can see that she's got the abilities.
Look at the dog, try it, and for I guess fine who the car of the strider days in the Grand Scott had in your machine stock at your cool leer. And is the clerk and such a third, I guess say it's Jennifer Van Jackasakai, I guess Hickey shots again, Sekucher. Flint, Dolash, going to lay in a G and a hit, going to skip up. Cummings, mag got Monglu, ik wil gewoon doen aan het huisje. Christie, via gaan deze negoen. Partido, die is het voor Real Madrid. Schult en Kuskeshin, de Makaloni tjue. Ons zie je wel nog haar plistje Christie. Ik is game of Docherty. We got an old slowing in addition. Might have been going wide, Rachel, but Docherty had to scramble across and take care of that shot from Mike Christie.
Yeah, I don't mind that either. You can see that she's got the confidence to take the shot on, whereas maybe in the past she might have shifted that on to Joriam, who's in really good form. But certainly for me, to take the shot on is good. It's just you want a little bit more venom in the strike just to cause a little bit more problems.
Kelly Clark, Suez Flint. I shouldn't have ruined you like Celtic. Gonna be a chluiche gudage fat the jewel, chluiche ischische. Naturally Ross local yours and fine condition. Population Lee Ferro Cunart. As Amy Gallagher in the penis of who's on Muncie at the Derby Ferguson. Doran Bar. So Mageda Gachin Farson, Sydney Cummings, Deval. Shanagan a coach minute Mageda Hienale. Paul Tullich Kapokom. It's about Paul the Golamach with Doran Bar. Scott Meurach Chase Suringasan and it's Nicoik Mination Adakels, Selena Sadiku, Kiri Gray Mahumal, the score, a Haikisha, Dras Kinig, Kemich and Akas and a Jerkinset, I guess Shak and Assasa Kibs, Jurk game Vashin and Nui, Oscar City, the Jurkin Sakai. The ish put into Ross Shinoprachig, I guess. Gersanna Giachetu Voaster, Shannon McGregor Lishanerp did well to read, to anticipate that ball, and why not have a go?
Yeah, again, this is the press that Hibs have had in the first half. They've been really good at it. They've been able to nick the ball in really good areas and give themselves opportunity to get at goal. And Shannon's unlucky there not to see the ball just drift over the top of Docherty.
Abby Ferguson, Fiachan de Shunimpi, Humalato, the later G Shahis, you could Cassista, you could starter it. Eddie, Coid, Canchigal Pokom, Machashi, Makaloni, Tarakach. Hayes, Cointon Ruinian, Partido, Jays Ashgar, Achadi, Shay Shelton, Kuskin, Avalta, Shannon Leishman, first and Achadu that Aslishin, Lawson, Feichgelach, this is the first game, the Coolies, and Peruk Nina Wilson Nation, Mare, year ago, Gopriki Trianco, Leah Eddy, and Celtic over Leah Jailer, in Hibs, Vatane, and Jenna Warrison, Puktik Suaskama, Flint, Gallagher, I guess. Celtic is Shech of his own to Celtic. Sean McGregor of the V3 balls on Hibs, Miana Pathke. Partido. Suisco Flint. G is Chimichalora. Shildag Sonoshenko, Prachudash, Hanispanchach, Partido, Maisha, Stegan of Oaks at Leishman Kustatara. Clark Akiri, Clicketan, Chin, Nasashgora, Partido, and Nuringi Bowline, Fosmach, Chica, Edward, Gopokom, and Yelabasa, Kishamaka, Yorka Christie. That's skip a Kuntach who via to check at the wheel. He's who had Dara Tool, the Celtic at Oshach, as Sue Kunota Havashin, but Lauren Doran Bar, Monglu, Tarsin Koloferski, Jew MC Dish. Leah Eddy, really good defending by Leah Eddy there, Rachel. She had to get that challenge spot on. Yeah, it's a fantastic block from Leah Eddy. She reads it really well. I think Celtic put in a great ball across there, and yeah, it was Leferski that's trying to get across the front post. But as you say, Leah Eddy, she tracks her run really well and puts it out for the corner. Minashkili, Digunyava Shakadankel, I guess. Boshanek Celtic, the Vals Rechol, Kelly Clark. Dan de gaal zo schön anders te gaan heen. I guess Camus the carriage to cool. I mean, over is Caitlin Hayes. I had the line. The Cummings is Natasha Flint. Hayes a fine Rutican Flint. Oh, how they gonna stay? Kimera Hashin Steva, Natasha Flint, and Dara Tull. Je na nes gereich gaat de ruki kerst de stoch de sinner to gebouw steeds maar soon you could do that so for Ellis Notley Kutcher. A bizarre goal, Rachel. It didn't look like Natasha Flint really connected with that, but Hibs should probably have cleared their lines before that anyway.
Yeah, it's a bit of a sucker blow for Hibs, isn't it? I don't think Caitlin Hayes has got the connection that she would have liked. She's trying to run backwards, and yeah, as you say, Natasha Flint, she's not caught it right, and the bounce has caught Ellis Notley by surprise, and Hibs find themselves another goal down. But for Celtic, they'll not care. They've got the ball in the back of the net, and they've done their job going into half-time.
So Kutsermach voor Ellis Notley, Gachud. Soos Faravantje Tarsing is de steek. She do like je we should say now is a shinnet Glen zit er jalletje. A good game. Agus Wilson a Carl Pickent to Hensel Leferski. Gatoon ik Shias. 3 minutes in te goeie varach gaviak en ik chiddig. Elise wil tuil elan. Ferguson a ptisje gestuit. Agus Hayes slijte gestuit. Stun kien na gaan bouwlige Tarsing. Notley leis dhul ac I chewn nile fiechan de jyn y sŵas y sio. Sy fydde bosiang. Bocom ac y ffost chŵl doch o'r tŷ. Sy'n fer o lein. Not quite half time yet, but it looks like Elena Sadiku is thinking about a change. Maybe Craig for Cummings, second half?
That would probably be the one that makes most sense to me. I don't know if Cummings is feeling a knock after she went down, or if it's just one of these tactical changes from the Celtic manager, but certainly looks like she's going to be coming on after the second half.
Stay gonna dar a minute, gonna 3 minutes into Gunja Varach Mahat. Agus fo fi anna suiachig ar y ffwtig at y fydol y stig hwyn yn y Hibs yn ish gyffain hyn da hyl y diedig. Caitlin Hayes agus nôs yn y ferach sy'n fo Notley tiwnd ag yn yrp. Natasha Flint stig yn y lian eich hyn. Cummings fo un byd wedi e ddifal. Bocom. Shane. Fiechan de stad gedorre. Vinach magedig en een noenje waardig is bekend Scott. Dat was de gleeunje. Ze krijgen camera als je een trieke hoene diedig was een gemoorse game. Ach. Had de tuchtje na gatel a gaman an Kutramach at je goed. Agus a Hayes agus Flint. Het Bragal. Amy Gallagher, Siúnda Gadash. Celtic tjech fiechan de bouwle goemelle son. Tjech chicken jomersin had akel. In een 3 minutes te goeie warach. De míholish leis newsí hat fo door an bar agus the shoshin cochidig I chiad le. Ní teach an SWPL réiteide agus a sinna tuid le go count. Apad chiad le inginach cé tuil acin. Agus Celtic háiseach le Natasha Flint agus Habata Gysro Hibs at Ash Cwyn yn gyda 4 hwyl ac I cewn nela o Jorian Bocom cwyd Hibs at Ash Cwyn ac I nid ysyn a chanwysyn Celtic le da hwyl nela o Caitlin Hayes agus yn wysyn Ellis Notley o cwyd o dara urp ac Natasha Flint ystoi far y fatcha tarsyn eich hyn o cwyd Celtic an y sych y gyma corntal ac Cleiwnia. Stoch yn eich elatadig fa charst uydd gen y chwicim ar y rob barach ag Hibs ach ag léúne hat a dhéidir seo Hibs a hún Celtic a 3.
Wel, apert game ar ei ac yn creig y sioch, bio o sioch eith BBC Alp Celtic 3 hwn yr hosiach agos gas ni'n gorau yn dras y biach na ga ein fwy'r niolwylcha i'r cwt gen efo dol i dy ffath gyda you. Rachel, what a first half here at Meadowbank. How would you sum that up so far?
Yeah, competitive. Like I said at the top of the show, I was expecting this game to be really competitive, and that's exactly how it's turned out. I feel a bit sorry for Hibs, and I've not just got my Hibs hat on there. I do think our Celtic don't really deserve to be 3 goals to 1, but that's the position that they find themselves in, and we'll look to see in the second half if Hibs can rally and get back into it.
The difference being Celtic are taking their chances.
Yeah, they are. I mean, their chances have been few and far between. The presence of Caitlin Hayes is causing all sorts of problems, which Hibs were aware of coming into the game. But yeah, Natasha Flint, right place at the right time, and she's getting the goals.
Yeah, let's take a look at that first goal from Natasha Flint on loan back at Celtic, and what a finish this was.
Yeah, I think she's obviously done really well, and she's picked the ball up and just inside that halfway line, and she's gave a fantastic give and go with Natalie Ross and continued her run. You can see the power that she's got when she's running through, and the ability to stay up in that challenge and just slot the ball home. Whether she's the penalty taker or not, we'll probably decide whether she wanted to go down, but you're not going to pass up a chance like that to go through on goal and stick one in the back of the net.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a credit to her that she stayed on her feet, and what a finish that was. And she'll be looking to make these runs all day, Rachel.
Yeah, certainly. I think she's been given that role just in behind Kit Lafersky to get on the ball. They obviously see that she's not one of these that's going to run the channels, but give her the ball at feet, she's going to bring others into play, and that's exactly what she's been doing in the first half.
Yeah, and Hibs didn't buckle. They nearly responded straight away with a great chance by Bochum.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Hibs in the first half. I think their work rate's been excellent. They're really putting Celtic under a lot of pressure, especially in their own defensive third. And Maya Christie there pulls one back great for Jodie Bochum. And as I said in the commentary, I don't think she realised how much time she actually had, because she probably could have took it under control and got a better shot away. She was disappointed, but she more than made up for that in her next opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. This high press is causing the Celtic backline all sorts of problems today.
Yes, I think it is. You can see that Celtic don't want to stray from the way that they're playing. They always want to try and play pretty football out from the back and move teams around, and Hibs are switched on to that. They've not been caught on the counter too many times, because they are leaving themselves a bit open at the back for the pace of Kit Lafersky. But certainly they're nicking the balls in really good areas to allow them to progress further forward. Yeah,
and that high press resulted in the equaliser, and what a finish by the Hibs number 5.
Yeah, she's an excellent player, and you give her those sort of opportunities, and she's more often than not she's getting the ball on target, and you can see there's only one thing in her mind. She skips past the 2 Celtic defenders, gets half a yard and unleashes a strike that no goalkeeper in this league is going to stop. Yeah, it's a fantastic finish, and at that point in time I think Hibs deserved that completely to get themselves back on level terms.
Sydney Cummings will be disappointed with that pass that didn't quite work out for her.
Yeah, I feel for her. I think she's had a difficult first half. I think Maya Christie playing higher up, she's obviously been told to go at Sydney Cummings and cause her all sorts of problems, and they've not really been able to get their feet sorted at the back line on that left hand side for Celtic. So whether we see Chloe Craig come on in the second half remains to be seen. Yeah,
with this Hibs high press, how much does it take out with the players, and will Grant be looking to make changes maybe later on in the match?
Yeah, that's what the bench is for, isn't it? They'll all be chomping at the bit to get on and help their team, but as you say, it's very difficult to keep that intensity and that pressure up for 90 minutes, so it's about spelling it in the games and getting your breathers when you can, because the majority of those players will have to see it through for the full 90, so it's about making sure that you keep that intensity.
Yeah, we all know how dangerous a player Caitlin Hayes is at the set piece. That resulted in the Celtic going 2-1 ahead. Great finish, you got to say, by her again.
Yes, it is. You can see that that's their aim. The first one comes in straight on top of her head, and she doesn't really get the connection that she would like. As soon as they recycle it, they're looking for no one else other than Caitlin Hayes again, and it's so difficult to defend against when somebody is that big and that powerful, and you can see that she's so good to go and attack the ball with her head and just directs it on target. And yeah, I think Nina Wilson's maybe a little bit disappointed that she's not been able to get a hand to it, but with the power of the header, it's very difficult to keep that one out.
And the discipline, I'm sure, will be key in the second half. You don't want to be giving away fouls in these dangerous areas, because we know what could potentially happen.
Yeah, and that's exactly what was the case there. They gave away a foul on the edge of the box, which allows them to get numbers forward and players into the box. And you can see again, as soon as they get the chance to get players into the box for the corner, then Caitlin Hayes is the main target again. And as you say, it's very difficult to defend against, but Hibs need to do better with nullifying the threat of those areas.
Yeah, and Hibs nearly got themselves equal again. Maya Christie causing some problems there.
Yeah, she is. I've been really impressed with Maya. I think the majority of the this season, we've seen her playing at the back, and to allow her to play further forward, she got a lot of confidence from it last week. And to do it again today, you can see that she's just taken those shots on, whereas maybe in the past she might have shifted that onto someone else and give them the responsibility. So it's great to see Maya and that sort of confidence.
It's what Grant Scott wants as a manager, I'm sure. Young players coming in, showing that they're more than capable and taking their chance.
Yes, it is. I mean, for a manager, but for players, you can see around the dressing room, you can just see it gives them that lift when they're playing, and they're playing really well. I think off the back of last week against Glasgow City, there was a lot of happy faces at training, and it just makes a better environment to learn and develop in. And for players like Maya, Abby Ferguson, it's a great area for them to come into and learn and develop and push on.
Absolutely. 3-1 Celtic, and it came from, well, I'm sure Natasha Flint's claiming it, but I think it was an own goal.
Yeah, I mean, she'll probably claim it because it was going on target, I think, but the bounce has caught Ellis Notley off guard. And as I said in commentary, I don't think Caitlin Hayes got the connection that she wanted there. But with the numbers and the threats that they've got in the Celtic box, they've got players in the right area, and you can see Natasha Flint, is always on her toes, ready for the second phase, and she does well to get some sort of connection on it. And I think the missed kick has probably caused more problems for Hibs than they realised, and yeah, they've just not been able to keep it out, which is a bit of a sucker blow.
Is it surprising to see a centre-half taking the corner kicks for Celtic?
Yeah, I've not really seen Kelly Clark take many corner kicks, whether they feel like she's got the best delivery to put it into that sort of area with the players that they've got available on the pitch. I mean, for me, I would probably have Amy Gallagher on them all day long, but I'm not a manager, so.
Yeah. Before we go to our half-time VT, Rachel, what will Hibs need to do to get back into the match second half?
I think more of the same. I don't think they've done too much wrong other than not being able to defend the set pieces that have came their way. They'll be disappointed in there. It's about rallying the team together and making sure that their heads don't go down. They need to put in a performance the second half that matches that and betters it by getting a couple of goals back.
Great stuff. We'll come back to you in a short moment. Ach draasta maha, as in tolle Horstool, chluchit de ui Celtic, ha uithil echte kiu, stoch a gebeische kraak wil nega echte, ach klonjes in je draasta bo Natasha Flint.
So Tash, first and foremost, welcome back to Scottish football. How good does it feel to be back up north of the border?
Yeah, it feels great. I love Celtic. I've always loved it since coming last year. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Can you talk to me about how the move came about?
Yeah, it's just not playing at a previous club really. I knew Celtic was interested, so I took the opportunity as soon as I could. I just wanted to play. I'm a footballer. I want to play football. I want to be happy. And if I'm sat on the bench, I'm not going to be happy. I think the decision, it was 2 days, or if not 2 days, 1 day, to decide I was coming to Celtic. I said it in the past, I said there's always a place here at Celtic still there for me, and it just makes me feel at home here. And
it's been a couple of weeks now since you rejoined us back here in Glasgow. How's it been for you settling back in?
Yeah, it's took maybe a little bit longer to settle in this time, I think. I know like half of probably the squad, and then half of the squad's probably new, so it's just like getting used to the new players and having some conversations with them. But I'll get there soon, get back to my scoring ways.
The biggest change for you this time, of course, will be with your manager. So we've not got Fran Alonso any longer, we've got Elena Sadiku. How has that been? Have you been seeing any real changes between the two so far? Yeah, definitely. I think you see a change with any new manager coming in, really. They like to do it their way, and that's like hands up to them. But yeah, it's looking all good with Elena. She's probably got a lot more to show, and I'm sure all the girls have got a lot more to show her as well. When it was announced that you were returning to Glasgow, they teased your arrival with your signature heart over your head celebration. Can you talk to me a bit about where that celebration comes from? Yeah, the celebration's just to do with me and my fiancé, really. The number's the same, the number's to do with me and my fiancé. It's our favourite number, 2 and 6, so the celebration's just for her, really, and my family. So it was 11 goals in your last time at Celtic, a couple of big goals in there. If you had to pick a favourite, could you nail one down? Yeah, I think the one at Celtic Park that I've scored, I think with the background of the fans there, it just felt amazing. The atmosphere of scoring and the sound was just great. And there's something about you in these big stadiums, scoring at Celtic Park, scoring in the cup final at Hampden Park. What is it about those big arenas and the big crowds that really gets you going? I like the bigger games. I like more of a competition. I like
the fans behind me, it doesn't make me nervous. I could play under I don't know how many fans. I don't get nervous for any game really, but I prefer more harder games, more intense games than ones where a lot more fans are there.
And of course, mentioning that game at Hampden, of course, winning silverware in your first spell at Celtic with the Scottish Cup over rivals Rangers, that must be a real highlight for you looking back at last year.
Yeah, 100%. It's a moment that I'll never forget. Every single club I go to, I've got that mindset. I want to get the best at every single club and be the best I can be. But yeah, definitely, hopefully we can do that this season.
We've talked about the Scottish Cup already, but the one piece of the puzzle missing for Celtic at the moment is that league championship. What would it mean to you come the end of the season if Celtic were to walk away as league champions?
Oh, it'd be massive. Yeah, hopefully that's something I've been brought in to do. Hopefully help win the league. So we're heading in the right direction. Like you said before about the new change of manager, it's hard mid-season. So I think that's just going to take a little bit longer as well. But we do all gel well together. It's just about improving each week.
And what of yourself in the future? How do you see the rest of your career panning out? Or are you just fully focused on Celtic at the moment? Yeah, I'm fully focused on Celtic. I'm not thinking of anything. I'm not thinking of next year. I'm not thinking of game in 2 weeks' time. I'm just thinking on the game this Sunday, really. Take each day by day and focus on the game that's ahead of you.
Sianaku Natasha Flint on the Hennox Cash and got him plenty of the for Nyolich Rachel Boyle. Rachel, great listening to Natasha Flint there. Clearly enjoyed her first spell at Celtic and winning silverware as well. She's coming back. She's come back to Scotland. Just how good a player is she?
Oh, she's incredible. I think you can see the talent that she's got, the way that she moves the ball and she finds space and brings others into play. I love watching her play just to kind of see the positions that she gets herself in. It shows the quality of the player that's down south if they're able to keep her out the team. But as you say, she's come back up here to get game time. She knows the club really well and she's had success here in the past, so there's no better place for her to come back and play football.
It must help Celtic that she enjoyed herself so much the first spell and she could be a big player going into the run-in.
Yeah, I would like to think there was probably a few teams that were after her. So the fact that Celtic are able to provide her with that platform where she's had success and you can see the goals and scoring in front of a record crowd at Celtic Park is probably the dream for most Celtic players. So yeah, I think you can see the smile that she has on her face when she's playing with the club and you can just see that she enjoys herself whenever she steps on the park.
We're hearing just now, Rachel, that Chloe Craig is warming up. Potential change there for Celtic. Cummings going off, do you think?
Yeah, I think that's, if I was a manager, as I say, I'd probably select that one. It would just be a like-for-like switch. Nothing really needs to change, apart from the fact that Chloe Craig is bringing on with the wealth of experience that she's got. And again, another goal-scoring threat from set pieces, so Hibs will need to be wary.
Now, you are still currently injured. How is your rehab going?
Yeah, it's been a bit stop-start, a bit tough. I thought I was getting back quite close just prior to Christmas there, and then had a little setback in my knee there, which is very frustrating. In my mind, when I first done the injury, I wanted to be back playing by now, and it's not been the case, so it's all about being patient and making sure I do the right things before I come back.
Being patient, but at the same time, how frustrating was it?
Oh yeah, so frustrating. I think the physio and the medical staff are racking their brains with me now. I'm constantly at the door asking what's going on and why this is happening, but for me, this is the first time I've had to deal with this sort of injury. I know players have done it in the past, so I'm relying on them to give me advice and keep my foot grounded. And yeah, it's just, as I say, all about the patience and working hard in the gym every day.
Have you got a target, a time scale as to when you'd like to return to the pitch?
Not now, as I say, I did. If you asked me this a couple of months ago, I was probably saying by about now that I wanted to be back on the pitch. Prior to the split, because I was hoping that I'd get some game time going into the split, but it's not to be the case. And yeah, it's very frustrating, but it's one that I think other players have went through. I think Jane Ross was out for a really long time for Rangers, and now you see her back fit and flying and scoring goals. So not saying I'm going to come back like that, but I would quite like to get myself back on the pitch at some point.
You will. Definitely.
Hope so.
Great stuff, Rachel. Very thanks. We'll hear more from you at full time and throughout the second half. Shinesta Logal Arasho, Scarispirish, Gornyech Arish, Alco Henley.
Shinawena Callum, agus Arlachin Akinig Leunia Maravashin Fatadach, Chidach Leunia, Chloe Craig, Chine, the son, Celtic and Sydney Cummings. Agus Arach Kuchach, Alma son Hibs, Tegan Bowie, Adav K, the Richard Ruyano, Via in the Pathke, Abby Ferguson, Dolget, Queenie Hurish, Vulivashit, Manichaun, Traselye, agus Tegan Bowie, Bashtaviak Celtic, Chianade, son Hibs, Asadarale, agus leis na háirithin sin I the Giano. Sin tíisialas an dar léochud go dal, Kit Lefersky is sinna Giano son Celtic. Ga opracha gadas gonna line a Gian. Rachel then and was kind of Spanish going so no surprise with well we knew one change was coming anyway with Chloe Craig, but Tegan Bowie for Abby Ferguson presumably going back to that head knock early in the first half.
Yeah, it could be potentially that she's just not been able to shake off that injury. Either that or they're just wanting a different style of player going up against Caitlin Hayes on that side. I think Tegan's a lot more direct than what Abby is. Abby's more tricky and likes to come across the park and bring others in, whereas Tegan's very much straight up and down the pitch, and she's got buckets of pace that is going to fear any defender. So yeah, it might just be a case of getting her on and being able to provide that threat.
Fadach yn cyffeim Hibs na hyl ein y sioc at asat. Tri cyhynyd ieddi cynnig fan y chiedle. Celtics na leens yn dŵ falafantau. Fiach yn dysio nimpi hwgal tra Sadarale. And you feel, Rachel, that with the scoreline the way it is, it's important that Hibs get the next goal here.
Yeah, I think so. I think more for their own confidence as well. You don't want to go any further behind against Celtic, otherwise it gives you a mountain of a task. They know how difficult it's going to be. They're going to have to take their chances when they come because they're not going to get that many in the second half. So it's all about being clinical and taking them when they come to try and allow themselves the best possible chance of getting something from the game.
Torgan Aval Celtic tra Asadarale agus game of Populos and Jelik at the Shinva Kettle Fersky fell over the Coolwig Maroyet Jelik at the Shaval. Shachat the Flint, a Hikidara Paulichje, Maya Kata, McGregor, and Yasu Kutsmakashin. Craig Dish, Fiachan de Lafersky, Lorca Drupsa, a bow, Kumashuk, Kokassan, Lafersky, Agus Jew, Steve Populos, and Lafersky, Dasha the Cassan, Agus Yemig Lauren Doran Bar, and a fellow of Fatally, Natalie Ross, Flint, Marco Partido. Dolchan a line, nor in Jachum Alistay. I should play for Mach of a sound. Celtic starting with most of the possession, Rachel. It's important from a Hibs point of view that they don't concede that fourth goal.
Yeah, it is. I think you can hear the shouts from the Celtic bench saying that they want to keep the ball, so you can see that they want to shift it and not get caught in those bad areas that they were in the first half. I think Chloe Craig will probably bring that experience and that calmness on the ball. You can see that she played a lovely little ball down the line to Kit Lefersky to try and let her open her legs. So yeah, it's all going to be very much the same from Celtic.
Dias bal Kimishach, Will Craig, trying to go Amy Gallagher. Monglu, Smunyan go Shias the line and Ishay Gianashin, Dolchan a line, Hadias Shay Dumanis and Garrigus. She always seems to want to cut back in her right foot, Monglu.
She does, yeah. I don't know if that's because she's so quick that she's given the players in the box a chance to keep up with her. Because if you just lash it across the box and there's no one there, then she's done all that work for nothing. But yeah, certainly it's difficult for Lauren Doran Bar to come up against a player like Menglu. She's very tricky, and as I say, when you get her in the box, you just have to try and stand her up.
Here we go again with Kelly Clark taking this corner kick as well.
Yeah, they've obviously been working on it in the training ground. She feels confident to put in a good ball into a good area, so why not?
Go perchad op megede gave. Agus Dias Clark ball art. Agus Eddie guy in a follow-up. Actually the gefatte die Ross agus Norsen Partido. Ik wil Karim stoch hoek al stay Dias. Tegan Bowie. Gustata Rukata. Die met de weer Chile. Santa Gestiache Duval. Tegan Bowie vaak Celtic. Mr. Gloshi Noas en mate go Hibs, Ross, Dashko, Partido. Agus a die Shijish and go Prachut, Kachakele, Partido, Le Paul, Ishal, Flint, Soccer, the foul, agus Faralina. Well, Apad. Even see Vashin, Ida Lane, and you poppy lost in a Valney Elena. Agus Vashachat, Nina Wilson, lost in a Miss Minion of the cool look, who are the Cass, Asarat. Hayes, Fiachan the shit, Nimpi Humalatal. A Chashaw coin, Knotach for Hellig Hibs, a skeleton for Hellig Celtic, a Hanish Hibs, Plishtu, Hiet, Horamak, Tegan Bowie, a Cassin a Heenuk, she has a life fleet, Bowlich and Tarsaganish, well, Hantinia station. But Natasha Flint thought she had definitely got her second, possibly third here, Rachel, but crucial intervention by Poppy Lawson on the bench, on the goal line.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable stop from Poppy Lawson. She reads the danger really, really well there, and just you can see her there. She just shifts back onto the goal line and gets the good solid clearance away. And I think everyone thought that Natasha Flint was going to get another goal to her tally today. Unsure whether we're giving it as a hat-trick or a second, but that's not for us to decide.
Well, Poppy Lawson, Janukini en Gaigi, Jispitchen, a goed getal. Door bar, Suez go Maya Christie, Monglu, Shorst the Grey, my Yoroshin Kustater, Shin Likale Shen. Kan ik in de stuur, ik zeg je nu is de meer aan de paadjes en Celtic Hayes. Suez go Flint, had alle dash, go Docherty. Craig, Bas Dullich, go Ross, agus McGregor in de Gutch, but agus Norsen de Fiech en die ook al Shachat de Docherty. Flint, meer aan de paadje. So die is Laferski, agus Poppy Lawson, Geno Fierva. Close open talk back, guys. Monglu. Ferski en Sanoringi Gumalestui. Kelly Clark, the ish Dolgan and Oshank, agus Joel Murray, a fair the in it. Guys, can we shut down open talk back? Here and everything. Clark, Guadilla, as an Oshank. Agus like a Foster Cool, Nina Wilson a fine love it. Agus McGregor got Aina Phillip. This got Docherty the ish. Hebs vegen de scenarige gashin Iano. Gamayat Iano, Celtic Kumalavui. Caitlin Hayes, Gehoutje Mach van een goal. Flint, Gehoukal Ladash. En Elena Gian, Verlatte de Gauw. Shannon McGregor, Gehoukal Mian Paadkes. Gair Yadash, gaat al Notley. Notley Ross is dikke crew, je het cool. Notley, agus niet jak voedig zaag. Gallagher, as the ish Hanoringi, Bao Loprachug, Tarsenko, Monglu. Tegan Bowie, Noringi fine Chimichal leather. Noah da McCunny, Caitlin Hayes. I guess the drops a hat to the Laferski. Eineste, the cool, Shaw Connor the Hebs. Gallagher. Agus the ish Hanoringi Bowlers le. Good Tasha Hudedi and ish good hound like cool Celtic Sadarale. I guess for Shinna Bowl a mach. I guess Karam Stochig and Harik in Iano and Latisha La San Giano. Adams daar een klichtje dat daar niet, kan die Joel Murray. Son Hibbs. Christie, hier is Stu Umsi. Natalie Ross, Monglu, Norsen, Hein Lava Noor, Kadara Kutjach en Jelmaya Christie Tollage, Lisha Shinach. Niet checken vandaag zagen, haar reetje de Likale. Lisha game, Stru, Geju, Oorden hoe. Dat ging ik begorga staat, je moet zien, Karen Crew, je er jou. Hayes, Gewoon een Juval, de van de eerste de Jule, Lelia Eddy. Yes, Nuri. Bouw je gemaresteerd in Duval. McGregor, die is leeg voor Kunart. Partido. Tegen de fijne val af, zoals de lijn is. Paul je lijntje geweest. In de lijnen, le Shannon Liesmantje gehoefd, het moet je weet. Gaan we willen nooit. Liesman in Duval. Craig. Die is zoals Gilleferski. Gallagher. En je krijgt je het opgegeven met Gallagher. Gilleferski. Tegen de room in je eentje. Je ziet van mij Christie die is. Welkom. Watch het geleerd een fijne falla van Clark. Kijk eens de taring in Ash. We zien het reageren. Kijk eens aan de harigheid. Als je het al heen en is je zo'n Hibbs. Eli Adams. Kijk eens Joel Murray. Leishman het al jij. Like it's Doran Bar. Does that mean Hibs are going to a back three?
Yeah, I would certainly look at it as that way. It looks like it's going to be a 3-5-2. Joel Murray will just slot into the centre of the defence there, and that'll allow Maya and Tegan to be on the left and the right hand side to push Ailey Adams in closer to Jory and Bochum.
Shinahata de Giano. Joel Murray finding here to guys to shoot. Kavanagh. Look at that Hibs. Gadashik Celtic is on a dress tourist. Jessica is on a Hinet Kuchuk. And Stu the Mayedevo. David Haley, Medevengi. Lawson, across Savala Kutrum, Havashin in the line. Picking Vintage in the dash. When Natasha Flint, I guess Monglu is right to the fast Scott. Ailey Adams. Lawson, steken Makaloni. Miguel Asioi Katasa, schoolige mag. Golia Eddy, als je een steek in de League Celtic. Joel Murray en Unji Stine. Nisjes aan Hibs, Juval Soos alleen achter je water. Het hansje Tegan Bowie. It's been an even second half, cagey second half, Rachel.
Yeah, it's certainly not been as exciting as what the first one was. A little bit scrappy at times, but I think you can see that Celtic have got the job done if they keep performing and keeping Hibs at bay. But the fact that they went 3-5-2 tells me that Hibs want to go for more and try and put pressure on Celtic.
It's in that hole. Gemak Huttermach says I could ask skip at the shin. Monglule pick and room. Nishanui. My Christie had a god Ash pick up. Monglu. Dol Shechat or a Hiat Grishka use and Isha Bowlich and Tarsing. I guess I've worn at the go prediction. Murray of us around. Shen. Tarsing Flint. Meaning he there, Plikella Falavacha, Partido de Vamuyi. Tegen Bowie leeg, Jiva Fanergi Kita. A gemorsentje, Gautje Dash de Hayes, a Casculig, Tarsing alleen Gianco, Craigs, de Dash is tegen Vienco Kelly Clark. Shen, go Craig, ik wil room, puchtig zo is vastgedaan de wokse. Gallagher, I guess de brachtig zo is een She's had an indifferent game, Amy Gallagher, and looking across the line, shouldn't really be getting caught offside there.
Yeah, certainly. I think she'll be disappointed with that. It's a really good line from Hibs first and foremost, but yeah, Amy is a lot more experienced than that, and she should have known better. She will be disappointed because Celtic were in a really good position. But for me, again, it just shows the scrappiness of the second half.
Tikshin Kafuta Gallagher in yet, I guess, in Shinstoch and Ion in Mariah Plich. Gaan jullie weer naar zoen? Gaan het tussen een gemmetje en verjeden? Festi, Jyn y man y sych y tiawn, ac mi orsten ych o bawlodd cwl, Shannon McGregor. Is droch fawl o Amy Gallagher, because Celtic and a driplet agus Cora McGailey Adams. Shen han y dash, doin sy fwg sech hyn ysgyplwch agus doch ydyn sy'n sŵas ingyn Elena Sadiku na harach yn a sy'n ian o bic an ys lwye. Ni giri darach yw ian o Jenny Smith at ôl yn eith cwtioch. Poppy Lawson y cosiach sŵas o lein at sirimach yw fwyl caint is doch a bic an astar ych ydi sios dy god y fwg sef go Ili Adams ach yn yla. Wel, ha ti'n eich gynish, Norsen Lawson at ashes dy Hayes le cawn y fallaf. Lawson, fiach yn ddechrau like a chawn Natasha Flint at ash, cwtioch yw lein at Gian Shen. Sŵas o lein is game of Joel Murray fain yn y sy'n iofog Leferski. Fain at ash, sŵas o lein fli. Da arach yw asyn y Gian y son. Celtic yn ish, Kavanagh agus Smith. Shen y Chin ye, agus Amy Gallagher, cwtioch y Chin ye. No surprise maybe to see Amy Gallagher coming off. It's not been her day so far.
No, it hasn't. It's been one of those games where she's not really been able to stamp her mark on it. But as you say, at the end of a 3-game week, it's a tough shift, especially if you're playing those 90 minutes back to back. So yeah, she'll probably welcome the rest and get her fresh ready for next week.
Sadiku klech in de pingie, echtje is een uurige gehoortje de squad. Hayes. Skulaferski had de goal aan 0 gaan toegevallen en is. Tjene steek out de Vokse Partido. Gain vo Natasha Flint Nurenji. Fijn gaan alleen de drupse. En via geen. Hij is staat gedora. Ja, dit is de bosch aan je verzaan. Kavanagh en then Farna Bingi. Agus le Caschli de gal loopige Stefan a Duval. Han Kelly Clark Kakagala drap sitchet. En Clark Kua Savukse maar Haraka Janisha. So je kan dan le Casgesh Visishika na Bipa Noshang. He's vier in de route kanain het. Chiliaco Partido. Chloe Craig. Coint die hoek al toon je die is Hayes het voedig hoes. Die is Nurenji Kaunijn de Schindlia Eddie aan de rondje. Pauli zal het een taarsen jach Giedig geproduceerd Shannon McGregor. Mclonica opgemaakt tegen Bowie. Ma suas live clee, wel heb zich staat, ga je de losse. Geen moer shoch game na smoe na herken. Celtic school Kwijbrug se goeie Rangers zeggen ze draast had het goerse ver na Shinagune gedash ko keet pungen, maar goed is dat maar zo. Asta Loine, ze ook zijn techniek is nog terug. De Sadiku, maar ga skippetje. 3 keer in het hasje. Is Monglu, dat is zoel voor de wiel, kelle mag. Kafak het los en een dasje stuk het haken pokom. Wat de gopper gaat zinkes nog zoals Adams. Monglu. Kijk, hier de Chiva Fanjergi, viechen die. Natalie Ross heugen mag. Flint. Pokom. Je torchet kreeg verach Giano. Dat je voelt je dash de Hibs. Je geneerst dat je van Amerika nog. Slias Lawson Current Lasarant the Kayla Shin of the Bowler the Leferski Kafak Orasha Bow line of Ash. Flint, Gasculu gaan Duval, go partido. Haast partido, agus an opportunity is sú éile. Populosan Asarat, idir nupe Darakac. Keimtjech fast pick en een sluitige is. He's gehoogd Flint dolgan en Noshine Duval. Tjech vechen de game heen again de Stelius on Hibs. Kavanagh, je shouldn't pass it by Mach Duval can goed hem superen. Yes, dat shouldn't caught him. Daar gegillen, shouldn't you. Kirsty Morrison, Faye and Ed, son Hibs. Faye the Jerab Coat on yet. I guess my Christy. Yeah, she's had a good game, Rachel, but maybe running out of steam in the final stages.
Yeah, certainly. I think she's putting a power of work, so it's about getting fresh legs on. Not much will change. It's very much like for like, and yeah, I think Maya Christie can be happy with her shift that she's put in today.
Maya Christie, due game of the Viechje. Has the Hibs. Gonna daar het heel als je een with the 4 goals geschreven naar Rachach gedaan. Ja, Eddie. Van een skipper dat kun je niet dat tussen de 6 en het doel is een initieel kanotli. Eddie, die is 4 en zo go bokom. Nou, zie je, look at the skeleton in jouw vader in het college. Daar het heel als je een Jenny Smith, Jenny Ma, nu notli. Van Noorsen, Taring Golar. Again, to be fair to the referee, he's willing to let things go and let things develop before he blows his whistle.
He is, yeah. He's making the right calls. You can see that he's got caught the wrong side at Jenny Smith there. It's a physical battle out there, but yeah, the referee's made the right choice. He tries to allow play to move on and then just pulls it back.
Game of Ashetall. Craig go Monglu. Nui Morrison Adin Farna Pengi. Die steeds in de maat. Paul Ishal. Ach wat, Gidach Joel Murray. Dat Karamelike taat, Trolle Ferski. Coole zaal, agus gaan jullie get. Prachtige voor de geest, Monglu gaan een vaste goal. Gaat het tunje in. Agus Sikamach, zo'n zattige stjech. Duval. Monglu proving is wrong. She does have a left foot, Rachel.
She does, yeah, but it's hit the first defender.
Lisa Robertson is Schindlische vastje. Look at that Hibs kutjes. Dag is de kneerige haast dan de neetje. Nou is Lucas en je. Bregolas. Die is Celtic smachtig de val ze voorgeje. En we hebben scenario getoeien gehad ik in. Maar het al gaan het as kan ik hem. Kavanagh van Wimpy, Marco Monglu. Die is je fijne vallen van Morrison. Agus de gummele stol. Steek Kavanagh. Leferski, via in de room je een plisje Flint. Haast goed te gaan laaien. In de kast. De scoop gevallen van Notley. The moment, Rachel, you feel that Celtic are dominating possession and Hibs are really hanging in at the moment.
They are, yeah, but neither team's really creating anything in terms of goal scoring opportunities, are they, other than the clearance off the line from Poppy Lawson from that Natasha Flint strike. It's very much a midfield battle at the moment, which looks tough. Both teams are going at it in there, but yeah, for me there's not much happening in terms of goal mouth action.
But Hibs need to find some way of getting back into contention, get a second goal here and it's game on again.
Yeah, the quicker they can get a second goal back, the more pressure they can put onto Celtic, who will then retreat and try and defend their lead. But for now, Celtic are very much in cruise control. They're able to dictate the play and keep the ball moving. Hibs are finding it very difficult to get a foot and hold.
And a like-for-like change there with Agnew coming on for Lefersky.
Yeah, I think it's been a bit of a quiet game for Lefersky. I've seen her in games in the past where she can change a game just by her pace alone. She's not really got herself into the game too much, but a lot of her work comes from stretching the defences, as I've said numerous times today, and allowing the players in behind her that space and freedom to get the ball.
Haast de kopperige gedaske verkeerd % fit hou van de kit Lefersky. Hayes uit de goal. Zij de verkutter mag aan de visioen bij de game Chimichal. Craig tegen de Paul getrokken die eerste prachtige Italiano Jesus. Maar Fiagnu is close to throw that. It's good play from the Hibs defence, you have to say, Rachel. They've done that time and time again. They've stepped up together well.
Yeah, they have. I think you can see the cohesion they've got. I think Leah Eddy and Poppy Lawson have played in the majority of games together now this season. You can see they've got a really good understanding, and they're starting to control the back line and be able to bring the team up when they can. So, yeah, it's good play from them, and it just allows them to get the ball back.
They're going to fick it minutes. Hibs has 3 kahoon idiotic. Nunt heel hakke wat Jurien Bokom had de val. Kirsty Morrison tot soos de lyn ek hier in Australië. Bokom met nou trek je guns go pregoes thuis hy notion in het alkola diction het asje shin Tegan Bowie. En so a shin fat to follow up. Again the referee let play continue after Bokom was dumped on the ground, but probably the right decision again because Tegan Bowie wasn't far away with that effort.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's really unlucky from Tegan Bowie. She does really well to get a good powerful strike off. She just can't get over the top of it enough to keep it on target. But it's better signs from Hibs. That's the sort of play that you want to be happening. You need Jory and Bokum on the ball and having those driving runs and bringing others into play.
Tegan Bowie dal fast come ha. Agus Jory and Bokum njárstachkische na riplach fatanjesket in de lane Giannick Celtic. Gescharat de lane Gian Sapi. Craig. Stick of Flint. Vies Bokom laatje kilore fijne vallen van Kavanagh. Gaan je 10 kilore ke de vestugi agus Hayes. Leis in de bal op haar woeipesje. Dan ga je laatje kilore son Kirsty Morrison tjech. Fuchtig schachet de lijn leisje val. De voelje is in. Poppy Lawson who is in. Poppy Lawson on the ground there, Rachel. I think she took a bit of a knock in going for that challenge, and Hibs want to be losing her at this stage of the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's been an awkward landing or if it was just the late challenge. I think it was from Agnew trying to get on the end of it.
Here we go.
It looks to me like she's took a bit of a heavy landing.
Yeah. Triplechly Cassidy-ish. Her print. Maybe an issue with her upper thigh, just maybe as you suggested, Rachel, the way she landed there.
Yeah, it's either that or she's maybe took a bit of a dead leg from Agnew coming in on the challenge. I'm not entirely sure, but she'll certainly try to carry on, although she does look like she's in quite a bit of pain.
Als je de kassen gedaan, I guess Lawson gekut terug, maar als je het eigenlijk met de bij, Poppy Lawson bij Hibs, Keith Cahoon, die Savely Vishnich, you far line of Natasha Flint, Trasa Darley. Game of Ashadol, Picanis Castle Hurig, Idakel, the Populosan Idash Idafat. Craig, Fiachan die Paul, goed, Shachat de Leune, die is Ganeel, Kavanagh, ach, Aldrin Ikideo, Tjurgeson, Verach gehaald. Did well to force the error there without giving a free kick away.
Yeah, she did. I've seen them plenty of times when the defender just goes down very easily. Kirsty Morrison, credit to her, she's tried to stay on her feet, and yeah, Kavanagh's done really well there to earn her team a corner.
Kelly Clark had ashed Bripanosha. Kavanagh Dolomul, Telection Rowan Goodich, a Charishma Kabi Galshin. Caitlin Hayes, Chloe Craig, Bican to Hulguishin at Caitlin Hayes. Clark, this should be Boshing. Oh, Jeff Farabat Tarsing. Khatu Nina Wilson, Fashke the Shin. Natalie Ross, Fiach the Humal Pell, Duval, Saturday Shech of his out. We're speculating about Kelly Clark's corner kick delivery. Well, they don't come much better than that, just a couple of inches lower, and she'd have had a goal for herself.
Yeah, she certainly whipped it in, didn't she? Causing all sorts of problems for Nina Wilson there, who's stretching to make sure that it doesn't just drop in over the top of her head.
Partido. Gaan die Gumaladol stegen en ook ze van Luciana mag je een kutje niet checken voor dat staan geweest. Monglu, Rash, Clark. Craig. Progedashko, Partido, Angus. De Vermoeie, Flint. Swinging it out, hele shot. Angus Joel Murray was er water. In het opperige Maat Harsing. Monglu. Kijken like Jenny Smith of the cool look. A tolichigal Tars in the path go do willen go Caitlin Hayes. Partido no Bowie e Duval. Spanchach Geno Ur dat is stuk over de vokse. Gewoon Janneke Soer, maar je denkt. En ik heb voor Murphy Agnew, she heeft een maag van zo'n Hibs. Scott. In Harig in Akiano, dat hele Suringa Jano, en je een nisje challenge 10 minuten. Maar je denkt, Lena Sadiku really chillische daar hele warrig ga shin je weer naar pererische pulig naar fijn carrot hul zo'n een game mogen de magste jolly Macaroni gaan die Hibs een dat asjes gaan Rowan je echt shot Kirsty Morrison is dat je mag with the live yesh ik zeg geen shachat in Monglu Doherty Jean Farolina. She's not had a lot to do this afternoon, Rachel. You maybe expect Ailey Adams. Would you expect us to put more of a challenge in there?
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen her try to put in a challenge, but as you say, anything that goes against the goalkeepers is usually a free kick, so maybe she's just trying to keep the game flowing.
Clark, Harsing got Craig, Baltuli got Monglu, I guess Savinacha Populos in the moon. Smith, Ashka Craig, another Shachat got Macaroni, Julian Siva Macaroni, Kakumalatol, Morrison, with Hoshachara, Nuringi Bao Wine Tarsing, Bishia McGregor, come the cool. I guess Jiggy for Smack Leprolia Kapuringi. No bijna vallen this Natasha Flinton is Plistu. Kikel Nela. Joel Murray, Leigh Shinma. McGregor, Lash Kutcher, Kapia, Macaroni. Fast clue and just on Hibs and Noring gave with the kind of crew shot. Oh, Macaroni, Le Bocom, Stocher, and your pair. It opened up there for McAloney, Rachel, but the better option was presumably Bocom, who was peeling off to the left or going through the middle.
Yeah, it's very frustrating for Hibs players to see that Michaela McAloney, she does great to drive and run, but she just has to release the ball. I think Tegan Bowie was streaming down the left-hand side, screaming for it in acres, and yeah, she's obviously just not seen it. She's had one thing in her mind and she's not been able to execute it.
Toshachuruya Machaunian is Hibs, Sanadara to a line. Monglu, in de Pristu, Hibs de bergkarige gillen, you know. Monglu. Well, I'm Agnew, Yunsi, wasn't the worst ball. Murphy Agnew seemed to come away from the space that the ball was intended.
Yeah, there wasn't many other options, was there, other than Murphy Agnew, who just didn't quite read the flight of the ball, but certainly Menglu's still causing problems down this left-hand side.
Haast ging je dat de Gerrit line. I guess Grand Scott Chundag laat kan de vingie heen. Roonjeur te gillen. Via de route kan aardig. Flint. Een roomje in de meer een paar keer paal. Tuurlijk ja, Shin kan Monglu kumi steek het ha. Chikiri er de deur, dan ga je dash de Noorse naar Kavanagh. De gaal terug, hoe is dat? Plisje kapot kom. Shot caught him guys then. Ach, Kelly Clark. Sonaatje Gerst, goedie Kuhn, zochte de skipper. Niet aan je leunen en je zou die gunner te vallen. Partido, due skill. Go Pregesusko, Agnew. Val tars in de paadje van Flint, haar roem is zo ik Monglu. Giljaarse ook ze kutjig, maar goed is die Paul Master. Jages, Juval, Juchliche van Joel Murray kata. Ga in de val af, Hadasha Kassen, Gliche Tashinig, Monglu. Jenny Smith. De puchtige dash, le Kirsty Morrison. Craig, le Paul Lart, le Calshaw Tuchtum. Tuchtum got Monglu, via die fine try heen of Joel Murray, Sarah to the ish. Ellie Adams het ook al laat, zo kregen de koelig. Je geschissig, bij de kastje is in de regellas. Je gaat cool as out. That's a sore one when it's down the back ear heel, the back ear Achilles.
Yeah, they're always a sore one to take, aren't they? You can see that the pain that Ailey Adams is in there. I don't think it's intentional from Chloe Craig. She's just over eager to try and win the ball and came through the back of the player, unfortunately.
Karskeliot, Pachorgi VKU. Just population en alles winnetje gegaan. Tilje Corlje. Grand Scott. I guess could have shot Tilje Goonje the Chirigi game. Ellie Adams Haast. Did a lot. It looked like Grant Scott was about to make another change there, but maybe this will make him just wait for a few seconds to see if Ellie Adams recovers first.
Yeah, I certainly think that would be sensible. Wait and see how she is once she gets up on her feet and starts moving around. You don't want to be over eager with a substitution and then leave yourself short.
And that's the Kassan and Ishkata. And yes, he's in Chirchich Kookach. Sahi. I close it. Neither of us Sursnell, Horry Vikarskilla, Sadarachug, a Shinatol, Hachers Bruxnan, Roden Megidich, Grand Scott van Pengi, Ach, Neil Pullagast. Chile Gadash van Pengi, because het be at Kienjach gewil, Ellie Adams Vikarskilla. Ik kan aan je voor een shinkelische verwachting te be tuchten. Welkom. Een jaartje gaan gaan tuchtje geeft ze woksen. Van een vliegje te deurjachten. Hij is de eerste Juval de Max. Nina Wilson Caroline. Vijgen de jarige dash. Net zoals aan de jarige in de dash Jenny Smith. It's unselfish from Murphy Agnew. Most strikers would maybe have fancied taking that on themselves.
Yeah, it's almost like she's not confident on that left-hand side. You can see she's always using her right foot, and yeah, if she just has a left foot, she's probably got a goal there. But as you say, it's unselfish. She tries to tee up her teammate, and it's just not came off for them.
Nina Wilson Kuchach var line goed te gevis munne via de hook al Shachatara. Makaloni yeah, agus Bruknan. That's all out attack now for Hibs then, isn't it, with Makaloni off and none on?
It is, yeah. It's probably the options that they've got sitting on the bench to allow them to get back into the game and get some goals back. You can see that Makaloni was starting to tire towards the end of the game, and yeah, it's just a little bit of fresh legs to try and cause some problems.
Lawson through Selena, I guess Smith gach with the mach. Lawson, Kafakorish again, mine. Edashkatol. Kavanagh, Gioch Rawate Doshach. Keir Minachin. De goeie avond, bij groen internationale. Als je een klikje dan weer de gorstige de goede zin keta. Ross, Marca Partido. Craig. Monglu. Toch gaan lijnen. Morrison via aan de pootje gedeterd. Agus Rinima. Few minutes left, Rachel. Player of the game time.
Yeah, for me, I think it's got to go to Natasha Flint. I think anything positive going forward for Celtic she's been involved in. You could say she's had the 2 goals to her name. Just depends how we give it. But certainly she's been so influential in that forward line for Celtic. I think she's brought others into play incredibly well, and she's kept her standards high throughout the game. So for me, I'm going to give it to her.
Celtic have pushed us in a Herretul, and the significance if it stays like this, Rachel, with the big derby against Rangers coming up next week, the gap close to 4 points, it becomes massive.
It does, yeah. I think that was Celtic's thinking coming into this game, was to close that gap. I think Partick Thistle have done them a little bit of a favour today by taking points off of Rangers. It just tees up that game next week to be even bigger than what it already was. So I'm hoping to see a big crowd there, get behind both sets of teams and make for a fantastic game of football.
Anglu, via die route kunnen groeien, is er Shane Lawson, die is skippelig te Hibs. Craig. Goros. Craig, die is Chevalar, drop ze prachtige voedig hier. Agnew, Kachumalestay, Ishal, agus Uadela. Joel Murray is raad, Clech Kuchelish. Craig, watches the here to see Bishia Coeli Adams. Looks like it is going to end like this, Rachel, but Hibs will feel aggrieved over the piece, that, especially the first half, the way that first half ended. Could easily have been 1 each, and the second half has been much of a muchness between both sides.
Yeah, I think that third goal just on the stroke of half-time certainly changed the dynamic of the game, because up until that point Hibs were putting in a performance to be proud of, and they were competing really well with Celtic, causing them all sorts of problems. It's just that 2-goal cushions allowed them to come out in the second half and dictate the way that they play and how this game pans out. They've been very, very focused on that, and you can see, I don't know if the half-time message was to not play as many shorter balls into the midfield because they haven't been caught on the counter as much as they did in the first half.
Natalie Ross, the Chinye. Daar gaan we jedig achtersen. It's Claire Goldie. Klik dat ook. Chineden haatje. 3 minutes in the Gúine Varach Gaviak in the Tiction, Fiskerek, Natalie Ross, Shachat. Agus 3-2 Celtic Cúteach. Stoch Gerishin, Jedig, Nadu, Lashin the Dolgank, Genaju, Unia, Idakal Haas, Skata. Can Karach Geshin, Eter Monglu, Agus McGregor. Agus reach the Channel Allowance, Kalsmach, the Diachu. Kraker o dag, look at the Jars for Kintig, waar Grand Scott, Gary Kashvuye shows on Monglu. Waar reach the Falachinkero, Gies Kintig. Joel Marika, Gronke Gadashka, Kirsty Morrison. Lawson, Dies Schma, Skippelte, Steiko, McGregor. Agus de bal of the Gutch Vuipische. Agnew, Fiach and the room again again and another pine the fall up. Flint, go Goldie. As Anish Mayo in Celtic Jechavi Kumalavui. In Vinage in a 3 minutes in the Varach, Chins a fall up. Freekrishin Celtic, Satige Kumal Uvuilachke. Kafak Speed, Chloe Craig Shogal. Tisha Flint, Daraka Juadela, Kassan Fala Vui Bishopika. Kishin Cheval, Blishika Poko, Luring Yishrutikin, and Anna Machanamax again. Yahan the room again again. Jenny Smith, the General Peak, Kavanagh, Dash, Kuchakulina Gian, Partido, Blishika Kel Nela. Yahan the Agnew of the state is cool Galina. Goldie. Die is hij slie opgetrokken, kan je te veel passen. Hij is goed gegaan en er maar een picture. Ideaal kadach. Kavanagh slie nu en een oceaan. Hij is zich pikken is leven dat je dan kan maar een huwelijk toe. Hayes, hij is Clark, hij is Craig, de slie Suez kan voksen. Kavanagh, Leon Wav, Suez. Juval on Nina Wilson, a fine Thorn of the Val, fall up. Bokom. Dash Stones, Leech heen. Dolkolar, agus a fine Survey. Tasha Flint, with the poek is around or Vish, and you'll each of the Torchamach, Garshin Puya. 3 minutes and a chance to fall up. De Gúine Varach, Shaw Gorham, a Yedig of his Kibs. Glenn Spick and a share of the score. Gaat het daar, Rwana mag zijn kroontje in de Magoors lijnen. Gema aard, die is Celtic ek goed. Lawson. Hij is een shot al chiedig gedocherd. Hij is reach de Suli en hoe dat. Hij is afis. Give a shot at Kishin. Nietzsche Kanishna via Agasa game. In the horse count 3 Pingin and Celtic, 3 Pingin more. Aka gloss at Nasashka Rangers, Akivulach. I guess the Lula Chin, Sikiatle, Darle Kamastoon, Da Skipper Du Helemach, van Natasha Flint, Kutrumach, the Celtic at Hoshachs, a part war at Yakuchaks address Tull, the Hood, Ellis Notley, Troneliana Haden, Faravasha Tarsing. I guess Jurian Bokum, Tashdochas. The Hibs, the Cúnid and the Rua that the Dash Kuinen, I guess Caitlin Hayes, the Shadara Tool, Chidach and the Ravakronch and a coin through the Kukulach, I guess Kelly Clark, Ishukama Tolich, there's the 3 Pungen, I guess Elena Sadika Kuchach, Juhach, and 3 Kemichin at the Bunyan, Casjui Kela, I guess Aisha Soccer, who is the Snock, Le Game More, at father, a Kybrox, and my Hachkan. A show like Medebank. Had Kirchengele 3 Pungen, their son Celtic. Hibs 1, Celtic 3.
Wel, sy'n ac wyla nhw'n yw sioeg Meadowbank agus Celtic a tolgachi leis na 3 pwyngyn sgash. Ni gorau madrasta biach na gea ein fo Rachel Boyle. Rachel, the second half didn't quite live up to the first half, but overall, what were your thoughts on today's match?
I thought it was entertaining. As you say, the second half wasn't up to much in terms of goals like we had in the first, but certainly Celtic came out and showed their dominance with the possession. There just wasn't that many clear-cut chances.
Yeah, Natasha, well done. Many congratulations on today's victory. Massive 3 points for Celtic. You must be delighted.
Yeah, huge 3 points. I think it was a much better performance than last week, and that's what we've been working on this week, is just to get a bit more togetherness and show out on the pitch that we can do it.
Rachel, you were really impressed with Natasha today, weren't you?
Yes, I was. I like the way that you drop into the pockets. Is that something that you work on in training? Is that how the manager wants to see you play, just off the striker and be able to bring others into play?
Yeah, definitely. I think she wants me doing a little bit of both, dropping in to help out and then get myself in the box for the bodies for the goals. So I think it works. I think I did it a little bit last year when I was here with Fran, and I think it works. So yeah, Elena wants me to do that again.
You got the first goal. We can take a wee look at it just now. Great goal and a great 1-2 there with yourself and Natalie Ross to create it. There you go. What are you thinking of this?
Good goal.
Yeah, great play by yourself and Natalie Ross. Good understanding there between you both.
Was it ever in your mind to go down with a wee clip at the heels?
Do you know what? Not really. I feel like I'm never really a player who goes down unless it was a massive clip in the box, but I'm confident myself in front of goal, so it's not often that I go down in the box, to be fair.
Yeah, you're not going to pass up that opportunity,
no.
are you?
The link up with Nat, again, I had that last year. I think me and Nat link up really well. Yeah. So yeah, she's a great player to get up with.
Yeah, we'll show the Hibernian equaliser just now, then we'll come to the third goal in a wee moment. But this, Rachel, was a great finish by Bochum as well, and a great build-up.
Yeah, it was fantastic build-up. I think Hibs once again nicked it in that final third area and allowed Jorian the chance to get the ball at her feet and run at the 2 defenders, and you can see she unleashes a strike that, as I say, no goalie in this league is going to save. I think at that point in time, Hibs deserved the equaliser. I thought they were really pressing and causing lots of problems for Celtic. I don't know if that was a message at half-time, not to get caught in those sort of areas on the ball.
Yeah, 100%. It's never good getting caught in them areas near your own box, but for us and our defenders, that's one thing we're working on as well. Breaking lines. A lot of teams are going to bank up against us and not want us playing through and play round. So credit to the defence, because they carried on playing through and carried on being positive and trying to break the lines. So yeah, but it was a great finish. Like
yeah, let's take a look at Caitlin Hayes' goal now. She's a real handful at the set piece, isn't she, Natasha?
Yeah.
Yeah, it came from the set piece.
Is this something that you work a lot on in training in terms of set pieces, because you're obviously very effective at them throughout the season, not just today but other games as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think everyone in the league probably knows that's one of our strengths, is set play, especially with Caitlin the size of her in the box, and you can't say anything about Caitlin in the box. She's a great header. She gets herself an end of the ball. She's got 2 big lumps on her head, but she'll still go for another header if she can.
Yeah.
Now we'll take a look at the third goal. You as a striker, I'm sure, will be claiming it, but we give it down as an own goal. But talk us through this one, Natasha. Yeah, so you pick up the ball here. Are you going to claim that one?
I guess it's gone down as me. I was saying when I was running off, hopefully that goes down as my second goal for the club. So
no, I think
I'll take it if it's gone down.
They've put it down as an OG, but
no.
For me, that's going on target, so it's very harsh. I think Ellis Notley will probably agree that she'll want you to have it.
Hopefully.
Attention now turns to a massive game next weekend against Rangers. What will you be working on this week in preparation?
I think just working on the things that our Rangers are good at and working on the stuff that we're good at, and then the stuff that we probably need to stop Rangers from doing by threatening us, because they are a good side, they're a good team, and it's going to be a really challenging game for us on Sunday.
Great stuff. Well, you are today's player of the game. Well done, and all the best for the weekend.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Great stuff, Rachel. Well, we'll take a wee look at the rest of today's results. I suppose the most surprising result today was Rangers dropping points against Partick Thistle. It
was, yeah. I mean, Rangers, it's probably not a huge setback for them because they've gave themselves that cushion at the top of the league. But that makes next week massive for both clubs. They certainly want to try and extend their lead above Celtic, but they'll want to start clawing back some points as well. So it's going to be so fascinating. For Hibs themselves, they've got a huge clash against Partick Thistle again, so again, it's going to be fantastic next week to see all the fixtures coming in, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll take a wee look at the table now, Rachel. It's really, really competitive, the top 3 teams. We'll talk about the top 3 teams, and then we'll look maybe at the next 3 teams. How do you see the title race going this year? Do you think it'll potentially go down to the wire like it did last season?
It might not be as dramatic. I think it'll have to
dramatic.
take a lot to be as dramatic as that was last season, but certainly it's tight. I don't think Glasgow City are going to go too easily either, so they'll be looking to climb back up the table as well. They'll certainly not shy away from a challenge as well. So yeah, those top 3 teams are huge. The fixtures after the split is going to be massive, so it's about keeping players fit and keeping players ready and making sure they're prepared for when the game comes around.
And the battle for 4th spot will be quite interesting as well.
It is, yeah. I think Partick Thistle have probably been a bit of a bogey team for Hibs this season. They make it very difficult to play against, and they've had the upper hand, and Hibs are well aware of that in that dressing room, so they've got a big week of preparation this week to prepare for that game. And yeah, Brian Graham will have his team set out ready to take points again if they can.
Will Hibs be thinking potentially of revenge, having been knocked out of the cup against Partick Thistle going into that match?
I wouldn't say so much revenge. I think they just need to get that confidence back within that fixture. I think they've maybe took a knock in the past where they've played Partick Thistle many a times and came out second best. So it's about getting that confidence and that belief. I think they can take the first half today and show that they can really compete with teams above them. So that should stand them in good stead for the battle that they've got coming up next week.
Yeah, that first half by Hibs today was hugely impressive, and I think at half time we were saying Hibs didn't deserve to be 3-1 down. So just how much confidence can they take from that performance against Celtic today?
Yeah, I think they could take a lot of positives, as I say, especially from that first half. I think the second half they died away a little bit because it is very difficult to keep that intensity for that length of time. But for me, they'll go away, they'll recover, and they'll look at what they've done well, which for me was being on that front foot and that press. They worked so hard as a front unit to try and shut down Celtic and not allow them to play through, and battling like that will be crucial come next week against Partick Thistle. And
on the flip side of that, we'll just briefly talk about Celtic before we wrap things up. I'm sure the manager will be delighted to have survived today, going into a huge match, Rachel, against Rangers next weekend. Yeah, today was probably not a fixture that the manager would have chose, given off the back of a 3-game week. You don't want to be finishing that away against Hibs, one of your rivals. So to come out of this unscathed and with the 3 points, and as I say, a couple of fantastic goals there. So yeah, she'll take the positives and she'll go and look at the footage of the Rangers Partick Thistle game and see what Partick Thistle done well, and they can maybe replicate for next week. Rachel, thank you so much for being with us today, and all the very best with your injury recovery. Thank you very much. And we'll see you soon. Tapolata Gadarin. Many thanks. Well, apud came of us akin in that yere hergain a Rangers ekadai and a Celtic. He should gach prepken of al beor BBC Alaput vo ri Odin agus sé game gymakutmuk fys sien de gach skippe agus by Celtic y gamas a bhearn ha sien ugúnach. Wel, sien acu fwyne ma ha fo fatke Meadowbank yn ysgol sio. Fa hiet le ac yn sio dydach sganyal hyn agus roi'n Celtic y leor as y darnole sio fi cyndiach yn y 3 pwyngan. Di'n cyndiach gybwys y coddyn yn na ieri hachgen. Mar sien lif.